I said, maybe it's because I had it on mute.
Oh, that's right.
So let me see that.
Oh, good. We're live. Okay, all right. Good morning.
Yeah.
It is 10:02. Welcome to the December 3rd, 2025 WKU Staff Senate meeting. We will first call roll.
Senator Adams.
Here.
Senator Ashby.
Here.
Thank you. Senator Bailey. We go, we're getting older every weekend. Senator Bartley.
Here.
Senator Basham. Here. Senator Bryant.
Here.
Regent Hammond. Here. Senator Henry.
And here.
Senator Hess.
Here.
Senator Hopwood.
He's out and about looking on range with her bean hoods.
Thank you. Senator Hughes.
Like he's on Sky.
Here on Zoom.
Thank you. Senator Jenkins. Senator Johnson.
Here.
Senator Jones. Here. Senator Hopkins. Senator Ray.
Here.
Senator Spitler.
Here.
Chair Vanderpool and Senator Warner.
Awesome.
Thank you.
All right, hooray. Okay, so our agenda and last month's meetings were sent electronically. Have anything to fix or correct, or all is well? All right, I don't hear anything, so we will consider them accepted. All right, now we have our Christopher Ware Staff Star Award.
Good morning, everyone. It is my pleasure to introduce one of our most meaningful recognitions, the Christopher Ware Staff Star Award. This award was created in honor of Christopher Ware, whose dedication, passion, and exceptional service have left a lasting impact on our university. The Staff Star Award is designated to celebrate those individuals who consistently go above and beyond in their roles, demonstrating outstanding commitment, teamwork, and excellence. These individuals embody the spirit of service that Chris represented, and through their hard work and dedication, they inspire us all. This month's recipients have made remarkable contributions that have made a significant difference for our students and our colleagues. It is with great admiration that we recognize their efforts, and we are truly grateful for the energy and the passion they bring to their roles. We will start today by recognizing Teresa Jameson. Teresa is a budget specialist for the School of Media and Communication. She was nominated by Madonna May. And I would like to invite her supervisor, Mr. Ron DeMars, forward to share some remarks this month.
All right. Thank you. Good morning. It's my pleasure to say just a few words about someone who has been an indispensable member of the School of Media and Communication for many years, for my entire tenure as the director, and that is Teresa Jameson. Teresa's official title is budget specialist, which is technically true, but she is great with budgets, but it doesn't scratch the surface of all she does for our school. The SMC, the School of Media and Communication, includes over 30 faculty members, between 500 and 1,000 students, half a dozen labs, 3 studios, workshops, festivals, all manner of daily activities and daily drama. And for most of the 6 years that I've been in my role, she has been the entire staff of the school. She is indeed the budget specialist. She was also the office coordinator, the building coordinator. Sometimes she is the deputy IT technician, sometimes manual laborer. Most days I would call her our chief chaos containment officer. She's my personal sanity manager. None of these I think are IT recognized titles. Certainly she doesn't get paid any extra for them. But those of us who work with her every day appreciate everything she brings to the table. She's always eager to serve, always with a smile on her face. Even when everything around us is unstable, through new leadership, through departmental reorganizations, program changes, construction projects, COVID chaos, just everyday pandemonium, Teresa has always been a rock. I've said it before in rooms where it's a little easier to get away with it, but I'll say it here too. Teresa may be the most qualified and competent staff member on this campus. And I recognize it's a campus filled with very incredible staff members. Her command of our budgets, her organization, her attention to detail, her ability to weather 1,000 storms are all extraordinary. Every day she protects our resources. She anticipates problems before we see them coming. She ensures that our school is ready to serve our students. That's the last thing I want to make sure I mention is everyone on this campus tells you how much they care about students. And most people, I think, really do care about students, but Teresa truly embodies that care, especially with students where she feels a personal connection, specifically military students, transfer students, and high school students still figuring out their paths. She wants our school to serve them all better, and she leads by example. Summers are supposed to be quiet on this campus, but she spent most of hers planning a major recruiting initiative for a high school journalism convention this fall down in Nashville. And then when we struggled to find volunteers to man our exhibit space, she volunteered to be on site for every minute of that show, representing us to thousands of high school kids from around the country. There's nothing about that in a budget specialist job description, but she does it anyway. She doesn't do it for any praise. She doesn't need you to recognize her, which just makes it all the more special that you did. So thank you for deciding to honor her with this award today. Thank you, Teresa, for all you've done for me and for the school and for our students. Congratulations. This is a very deserved recognition.
I'd also like to say on behalf of myself and all the military students and veterans at WKU, I used to work with Teresa Jameson when she was our coordinator for military student services. She ran the Textbooks for Troops program. She took care of Can Do. She made sure our students felt at home and felt well served. And I know many students whose life she impacted. And it's like having a mom to come to and to, when they're having a hard day or things like that, she was just always there for them. So I'm particularly excited to be able to be a part of presenting you this award. So thank you. And you can come forward as well, if you'd like. Are we doing? Do you want to take pictures? My camera's very old, so.
Thank you.
One, two,
Can I get in one word real quick?
Yes.
one, two.
Thank you.
Give Teresa a round. All right. Next, we would like to recognize Katie Birchfield. Katie is the Advising Services Coordinator in the Advising and Career Development Center. She was nominated for the Christopher Ware Staff Star Award by Mary Beth Hunt. Dr. Drummond had an engagement, I don't think was able to, that went a little long, so wasn't able to join us. So I'd like to invite Marissa Ford to share her some remarks with us.
All right. I always ramble during these things, so I'm going to apologize in advance. I also sometimes get a little emotional, so I'm going to try to rein that in. So I've worked with Katie for a very long time. I'm sure that many of you all have worked with Katie in different capacities. So a lot of what I'm sharing is probably not going to be new stuff. It's just going to be things that you already feel about her maybe, or have experienced in the capacity that you've worked with her, because she's worked with a lot of us across campus. When I think of Katie, I think of her positive attitude. I think how she's always willing to volunteer and help people. I told you all I get real choked up on these things. I also think about just how intelligent she is and how smart she is, how dedicated she is to her job. She really goes above and beyond. So this award is so special because I think it does recognize people that go above and beyond. And I'm so glad we have it so we can recognize people like Katie and everybody else that's been honored during this time. But so I did jot a few things because, I will get off track, but she's a vital part of our ACDC team. In our office, she does so much behind the scene work that people don't even know. Like some people are like, oh my gosh, is that Katie too? Oh my gosh, who do I need to ask about this? I'm like, well, that would be Katie. And they're like, she does that too. So, I mean, I think it's just amazing to see all that she's able to do. I can start with just our physical space. I mean, if there's an issue, she is always the one that reaches out and gets that fixed for us, follows up on it, makes sure that, that we know, when things are going to be changed, if there's things that are going to be moving in our space. She really keeps us informed at our meetings and sending emails and telling us all about that. So we really could not function as smoothly without her. So when I say she's a vital part, I truly mean she's a vital part of our team. She is, like I said, the contact person for everything. She's one of the first people that our staff comes in contact with because she does all of our onboarding. So she takes all the time and is very intentional about making sure that when they get here and walk in, they are all ready to go. Usually their laptops are ready. She's got them in the system. They're ready to just be able to start learning, and she's very welcoming. If there is a problem, she's immediately like in their office and like, okay, let's get this taken care of. I'll work with IT. We'll get this going. So, I think that I couldn't imagine a better person to be a welcoming person for them because of her positive attitude and the way she's so kind and makes people feel comfortable. I also want to share that she does a ton of things with our administrative things, any kind of documents that we send out. A lot of times, because she has such a great attention to detail, she's the person I'll say, will you read over this and make sure that there's not an error? I know that others have also done that. So unfortunately, you get a lot of those really in-depth things because of that talent that you have. She does our website audit, making sure that we don't have errors on our website or that changes are made, so that our students know, what's going on with our department. So she just is, that I always say she has a way with words, because I'll be like, well, I'm trying to say this, and then she'll say it, and I'm like, no, that's exactly what I'm trying to say, and it always sounds so caring and compassionate. And I think about even when we send out a card in our department, your message is always one of the most heartfelt, sweet things that is on our cards to people if they've lost somebody or they're going through something. And that's just because of your empathetic heart and how you're so good at sharing that with others. So you're encouraging to our team. And I think the last thing I'll end on a happy note is that you always find ways to bring fun to things. When we're having meetings, she'll always bring some fun activity, or even I think about when we are stuffing envelopes, which could be the most boring thing in the world, right? She will put on a playlist and make it a party while we're doing it, or she'll play some kind of fun music or something while we're doing an event. And so she thinks of all those little details and ways to just make things better. So thank you for always making things better for all of us in our department. We really appreciate you and are so glad that you are getting this award. Very deserving. So thank you. Sorry.
One, two, three.
There you go.
That's me. Congratulations. Okay, next, we would like to recognize as our third Christopher Ware Staff Star Award winner, Braden Rutledge. Braden is an academic advisor for the College of Health and Human Services and the Academic Advising and Career Development Center. She was nominated by Mary Beth Hunt, and I would like to invite Ms. Mary Beth to come forward and share some remarks with us.
Thank you, everyone. I'd like to start by telling you a little bit about Braden. Braden is an academic advisor for the College of Health and Human Services. Braden has worked in ACDC for about 2 years now, and I've served as her supervisor for probably about half of that time. During that time, it has become evident that Braden is an invaluable asset to the CHHS team, but not only CHHS, ACDC in general, and the WKU campus as a whole. Braden's conscientious, hardworking, quick to learn, and eager to help. She's always one of the first people to volunteer when a task needs to be done. As an advisor, she provides excellent services to her students. I hear positive remarks from her students all the time about the services that she provides to them. She offers new ideas to improve the advising process, not just for the students, but for the advisors as well. In addition to her advising role, Braden also coordinates ACDC's social media and communication. So all the social media posts and all the screens, you do the screens in DSU, all that is Braden. So she's doing that on top of her huge advising caseload as well. So her talents are multifaceted. Sounds cliche, but she really is like the definition of a go-getter. Braden, like I said, will always volunteer to do things. And as a supervisor, you always want team members who you can go to. Maybe you need a second set of eyes to look at something. Maybe something has come up and you can't do something and you need to toss the ball to somebody else to make sure it gets done. For me, Braden has always been that person. She can take something, run with it, handle anything. And so I really appreciate her and I'm glad we get to honor her at this meeting. So, thank you.
It doesn't
Doesn't matter.
Every alternate. It's like it's your side, but that's okay. Yeah. And he's just one of them.
Yeah. 1, 2, 3. Thank you.
Thank you. Let's give all three. Thank you all for helping us to recognize these three great staff members today. I'd like to conclude by saying that if you work with someone who goes above and beyond and deserves to be recognized, please fill out our nomination form, which is located on the Staff Senate website. Thank you.
Okay, now we go to our committee reports. Staff Regent Hammond.
Yes.
We have a board meeting coming up next, I guess Thursday at afternoon. I guess throws me off when they're in the afternoon. I have not yet received any agenda for that meeting. I expect it to be a pretty hefty meeting. A lot of it will be the committee stuff that we heard from the last meeting. I think we talked about that in our last meeting, so I won't go over that again. And I think Herb's gonna give a BEC update, which part of that, I think, will cover any good news I think we'll share about anything. I do expect that we'll probably have some housing updates. I'm sure if you followed anything in the Herald, there's been some things with it coming down. And so I think that that'll probably be in our agenda. I don't know that for sure, but I'd speculate that that's probably some things that we will see. Other than that, I'm happy to take any questions, but I don't really have much to share until I see the agenda that I hope that we'll get the next day or so.
Okay. Communications?
I'm just gonna share that we've received 2 anonymous comments recently. One was about the public-private partnership that was in the paper recently and how that may affect WKU staff. And the other is about tuition reimbursement and the cap and how Staff Senate can better advocate for staff that are pursuing higher education opportunities. And we are researching some answers for those.
Okay. All right. Number 10.
Number time, first, as the chair of the events committee, I want to thank everybody that came to the meet and greet last month. It was great to recognize everybody and their years of service, including the students there. And thank you for everyone who helped with that and made it success. Your efforts are most appreciated. And for this month's report, our ENG index starting balance $2,560.43, disbursements of $60, ending balance $2,500.43. Our Staff Senate Excellence Fund starting balance $2,275.12. No additions, no disbursements, ending balance of the same. Our book scholarship starting balance $1,969.84, and no additions, no disbursements, ending balance the same. And that's all.
All right. Kit, you have anything? Okay. John?
No report.
Morgan.
First, the Parking and Transportation Advisory Council met on the 14th. Fairly general updates on parking stalls and things. The things to take note are they have partnered with SGA on a couple of initiatives. One, they've already sent out a campus-wide notice on the 21st was their Food for Fines program. Highlights that you can bring donations from the preferred donation list to Parking and Transportation Services located on the ground floor DSQ here. The value of the donated items must equal an estimated $20, and they will waive a parking ticket up to $50. So there's that, and they also are partnering with SJ on signs in the parking structures to help those that are struggling with their mental health. And so good initiatives from there. Rush, I think I saw him come in. If he has anything else to say, do you have anything to say on that?
No,
Yeah,
hope you all had a great Thanksgiving.
But yeah, so those were the big things from the parking and transportation. If anybody has anything they want me to bring to the next one, it will be next semester, I believe in February. I'll just check my calendar for sure, but happy to bring any questions or concerns to them. The other thing I have is that the onboarding committee has been meeting. We are planning a new staff reception. We've set it for February 12th at the what we call the fireplace room at the medical health complex from 5 p.m. to 6:30. So we're going to be sending some save the dates out soon, RSVP and stuff. So we'd like to make a motion to spend up to $500 for like food, drinks, and supplies for the reception.
I'll second.
So. All in favor, I guess?
Yeah.
I don't.
Yeah. Any discussion or anything? Maybe? Go for it. Okay.
So I guess.
That was the previous
Yeah,
question.
yeah, okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? No? Okay, that's short and sweet.
Awesome, thank you.
What was the date of that again?
It's February 12th from 5 p.m. to 6:30. So we would love it for as many senators as possible to come, and we will send that save the date to the staff.
What date is that
Senate
fall on?
list on a Thursday.
Oh, that's right.
We did decide to do 5 to 6:30 because there are some, some newer staff may not feel comfortable going to something during the workday. So we thought we would see how scheduling an event after work hours or main work hours for campus. I kind of attendance that we get from that. There are approximately 96 potential attendees, full-time and part-time, that have been hired since July 1st through when they ran the report, which was like last week. So
Okay. All right, 96. Okay, Vice Chair Jordan.
Yes, I just have one report. As you all might know, our Constitution and bylaws notes that the Director of Regional Campuses will appoint a senator to represent the regional campuses. Until recently, it was Senator Ellen Chadwick from Elizabethtown, but her term ended. And I recently heard from Dr. Derek Strode, the Director of Regional Campuses, and he appointed Jason Lowe. Jason is with us today via Zoom, so I'm sure everybody joins with me in welcoming Jason, and we're looking forward to working with him.
I adventure role.
Welcome. I don't know how you welcome. Okay, that's it.
That is all my updates.
Okay, all right, well, I'm gonna defer the BEC update to her.
We met yesterday for a little over an hour. Just kind of hashed out the process for support units to make presentations to request increases to their budgets for, it could be projects, could be new hires. So we just went over that process. I think those the VPs are going to be the major clearinghouse for those proposals. we're anticipating anywhere between 9 and 15 proposals be presented to the BEC, starting in January. That was pretty much the meeting.
And I did not have my November meeting with the president. He was out of town, so we did not meet. I'm adding a new bullet point to our committee reports, so I've got SGA. Do you have anything beyond the parking? No, okay, all right. Check. All right, now we're down to old business, so I don't know, when did we bring up that? Was that the first meeting? I guess that was
Oh, yeah, that was our first meeting.
first meeting, so yeah, here we are in December. So Kevin has his workplace safety report.
And Morgan, you'll be happy to know I'll send this to you electronically, so you don't have to scribble while I talk.
Thank you.
I started with investigating what other governance boards at other universities were doing. And I found some interesting things. At the University of Louisville, their staff senate hosts regular briefings with campus safety leadership covering initiatives like improved lighting, escort services, and real-time crime dispatch. At Penn State, they maintain a campus-wide university safety council with representatives from across the units reviewing occupational health and safety programs. University of Pittsburgh, they organize a virtual campus safety crawl, proactively identify hazards and engage staff in safety awareness. And over at Eastern Kentucky University, their staff council includes a safety and security representative who liaises with emergency management and coordinates safety initiatives. While we already host regular briefings from EH&S like U of L does, establishing a separate campus-wide safety council is something beyond the scope of Staff Senate alone, though we could advocate for one. A virtual campus safety crawl could be an annual Staff Senate event, but it doesn't address the need for an ongoing focus on safety. And establishing the role of safety and security representative within the Staff Senate, such as EKU does, that seems to be a good fit. If we were to establish such a role, the responsibilities would include advocating for staff safety concerns during Senate meetings, collaborating, communicating with environmental health and safety, organizing awareness programs and announcing upcoming trainings such as the safety crawl if we organized one, AED training or fire extinguisher training. They would serve as a reporting conduit for hazards and incidents, and they would provide monthly updates to Staff Senate and an annual report to administration. Well, I think it's a great idea to have a safety and, have a staff, a safety and security representative on the South Council. The question that I still have unresolved is whether it's a role that's something that should be appointed by Staff Senate, or do we need an ex officio role that's appointed by environmental health and safety? Pros and cons to each one. If it's a Staff Senate appointed volunteer, we have more control and say over what their role entails, but the person on that role will change every year and they may or may not have time or expertise to fulfill the responsibilities. If it's appointed by EH&S, the role of Staff Senate liaison becomes part of their job responsibilities. It'll be their job to report to Staff Senate what's going on in the world of safety. The drawback to that is they would favor the interests of EH&S over what the interests of Staff Senate would be. I am still partial to having a liaison appointed by EH&S, but I wanted to get the feedback from Staff Senate before proposing anything. I have drafted two different motions, one for a staff appointed situation, the other for a EH&S appointed role. Before making those motions, I wanted to see if there's any feedback from the Staff Senate in general. So what do you guys think of creating the role of safety and security representative on Staff Senate? And if you do in favor of creating it, do you favor it being someone appointed by us from the Staff Senate, or would we rather ask EH&S to appoint someone to that role?
Do we even need this at all? Could we not just talk to David and have him see if he wouldn't send somebody to report?
It would become a role that would be monthly. It would be an ex officio member, so they wouldn't really be voting on anything except roles of say or speaking on.
That's what I
anything
mean,
except roles of
we
say.
don't need to have anybody appointed, just a voluntary basis from EH&S.
Can you say again what you envision this person doing?
Yeah, as I said, the responsibilities would be collaborating with EH&S, reporting on any safety incidents that have happened across campus, reporting on any safety training that's coming up that people may want to engage in.
Can I ask if the students have any of this in their, like within their group, or do you have anything that you can share? I'm just curious, like in comparison, if you don't mind, Ken.
We just executed really for campus safety. Granted that we had a campus safety committee like 10 years ago, and we absorbed it into a like campus improvements and it's a sustainability committee, and then campus improvements was lumped with that. But just recently we like formed like an ad hoc committee just for the second semester. That is because every year we do like a campus safety walk, which is exactly what you were talking about. And we normally invite like administrators, but I'd be happy to make sure that like we get some of those staff representatives on that as well. So if you guys don't bring this here, yeah, I can do, but you want someone like representative on that ad hoc committee, just let me know. But that,
Did you have anybody that actually, from an administrative standpoint, is part of that or facilitating that with you? That is like, is it Mitch, is it David, is there anybody involved in that that's like, has to document that?
The work of the committee is gonna take anything that they think and send it to Mitch and Ryan Russell.
Okay.
But those two always join us as well as the pro ones, but the teacher will always do this on the 7 o'clock.
Okay.
They will agree back. But it's normally a pretty big success.
Thank you. Okay, thanks. Just curious what brought about at the end result.
The end result is basically we want to make sure we're talking about safety. It's not something that happens once a year or something that happens occasionally, that it's something that we stay focused on, not letting it slide.
Would it be worth considering to ask David his thoughts before we decide on either motion 1 or motion 2? And I ask that because it seems with either motion, that means that either the one where staff senate appoints someone is going to have to be in pretty thorough, regular contact with his office, or he would have to appoint one of his team members to spend, a not insignificant amount of time on it. And I think either way, for either of those options to be successful, it's going to be contingent on his buy-in. And I'm not suggesting that he would be anything less than extremely helpful, but I wonder if it might be worthwhile to get his thoughts on it.
I had requested his thoughts. Unfortunately, we were unable to meet up, and he hasn't responded to anything on it.
I think it's a broad subject to try to define as well. You're talking about staff safety. Thinking workers' comp claims, stuff like that. Where staff are actually getting injured. Want to look into that and see what the causes of those injuries are and how we can remedy that. If that's it, I mean, if that's one of the goals, then that would, probably be best handled by somebody like Brandon Higgins, who works in EH&S. Or if you're talking about overarching safety concerns, whether they be traffic movements or lighting at night, stuff of that nature, that might not be something that directly involves EH&S. So depending on how involved we want this to be, it could be involving, police department, facilities, EH&S, park and trans, even IT to an extent for like electronic access control and cameras and stuff like that. So I don't know what the definition of safety is. It could be very broad or very specific.
Well, that's the drawback to having it appointed from EH&S is that they will be focused on EH&S, and the other things kind of fall to the side. If it's appointed by the staff senate, it's what they focus on. They can focus on a broader set. They can work with EH&S. They can work with the police department, parking, transportation, and facilities.
Right.
In a more broader sense. But still, EH&S would probably be the core center of this. Any other thoughts?
I really don't think it's something we can vote on without
Mhm.
consulting, people outside of this chamber. I don't think we have the authority to say this is what we're gonna do with your department directly, so. It's something we're gonna have to table until we can get
I entertain a motion to table.
to,
Has there been any communication, anonymously or not, about safety concerns on campus?
Not since we created this new
Okay.
anonymous submission form.
And I think Kevin's goal is a laudable one, but if it's not adequately defined, it can become all encompassing and become too much of a burden as to where do you even start. I guess is what I'm thinking.
Does EH&S use the work order system?
Yes.
Yeah,
Maybe that would be an avenue. Already exists.
yeah. And maybe even reach out to Brandon, he might not be able to share specifics, but he would be able to share what type of, maybe like workplace injuries, the university is experiencing. That might give some direction on areas of focus.
Yeah, I understand. Who would be responsible for reaching out to Brandon and reporting that to the staff center?
Yeah, I don't know, it might be just something simple as, sending an email, like, hey, can you give us any insight onto this, or give us any reports on this? I tend to have a very, very narrow view. It seems like most of the workplace incidents probably occur within our department. I don't know how accurate that is or not. And I do know that stuff is posted in the front office, as far as what the injury was, whether it was, I forget what they call it when they're off work.
Lost time.
Like a lost time accident. And what the resolution would be, but I don't know how widespread that is across other departments, I guess. I would imagine, park and transportation have the potential for having some workplace incidents. But I don't know how involved other departments are, I guess.
Any other thoughts?
I think maybe a good first step, but maybe if you would mind to reach out to Brandon Higgins and see if he can supply that data and see if there is a lot or if any workplace incidents, in the past year or so.
Trains or claims.
Yeah.
Is there just the one question about, like, on the staff engagement survey, do we just ask about lighting and do you feel safe? I mean, it's just kind of a, yeah.
More concerned for air quality and something. It's in the buildings than anything else, I mean. Wouldn't matter, but it's.
We should be getting the staff engagement survey results back. I was told that we would have them after Thanksgiving, so. In a minute now. Yeah, I know they're probably in my inbox right now. Okay, so,
Motion to table until next meeting.
okay, all right. All in favor? All right, any opposed? No. Okay. Okay, that was old business. Any new business? No. Public comment. Public?
One of the anonymous questions that was received about the public-private partnership, I'm kind of curious what the research is on that. You indicated that the topic was being researched. I'm just reaching out to see if it's happening or.
I think one of the things was that University of Kentucky did experience loss in reduction in force as a result.
Yeah.
I was trying to research that prior to our meeting, and it from what I can tell, University of Kentucky did have layoffs at the same time as a result of loss in state appropriation. Now, whether or not, again, it was said it was state appropriation and it was truly the other,
Yeah.
who could say? But they did not indicate it was a result of the partnership. But I can't say that for sure without, more research than that, or looking to see if others who have done the private partnership experience reduction in force. I'd like to look at, again, University of Kentucky is not the only one who entered into that, and we can look at those that have partnered with, because the Kentucky partnership and ours are not the same company. So I would prefer to do research with the company that we're gonna use. Again, those are gonna be different based on the company, and so my preference would be to research the company that we're gonna use to be sure that.
Do you know if anybody's shown any interest at partnering with the university to take over housing or any other areas that may be offered, or?
We'll enter into an agreement with a partner, yes. And so there was interest, and they've done the process to vet who that partner will be. And that came through the RFP process, and there was a number of those that were vetted, presentation wise, and that sort of stuff has happened. So.
Okay.
That's the.
Yeah.
I want to make sure that we look at that company
Yeah.
and how those have occurred on those campuses. I don't want to use Greystone, at Kentucky. If that's
Yeah,
not who
yeah,
we're partnered with. But it does not, so I don't know. I can't tell that Kentucky lost staff as a result of that. And depending on the partnership, those have scaled housing in all of those cases. So for me, I don't see the link to losing folks. I would think the opposite could be true, but, again, I don't know the fine details yet on any of those. I don't foresee any of that happening anytime soon for any of our folks, but our housing folks now are operated through student life. We don't have that
Well, they're
luxury
still-
now, right?
they're-
Most of those are born
they're
through
still-
student life, so we can't control a lot of that.
Some
today.
of them are still WKU staff members as well.
Right.
They've already had some movement, maybe not through a public-private partnership, but like when Sodexo took over all the ESAs and the grounds crew, they moved those people. They're no longer employees. You now work for this contractor. Aramark in the nineties, those food service people were WKU employees. Now they're not. So, I think that's what the greater concern is in those units, and it's not being clearly defined what the expectations are. Of course, you hear rumors about other divisions being offered up to sweeten the pot, to make it more attractive and whatnot. And, I think that's what maybe that person in the anonymous email was alluding to. Has there been any indication on what the scope of this privatization is going to be?
And I think those are truly, it's a development, partnership. And it's not a function of operation. It's truly a development, not an operation standpoint, so. Big difference in. So.
Okay.
I don't see any of that partnership in the day-to-day yet. This is truly development. I know what I know.
Yeah, there's,
We're,
I don't know.
We're gonna build buildings. That.
Yeah,
Right.
there's been no announcement because there's nothing to announce. So, unfortunately, that's where conjecture and rumor live, so.
Anybody else? Public comment? Okay, announcements. We have, spring semester book scholarship applications are due January 1st, 2026, which is just right around the corner. We have set our date for the spring meet and greet. It is going to be April 15th 2026 at 10:30. We'll, after we secure the location, we'll say that.
I'm sorry, what was your fine?
No,
It was a.
no, we've set our
Oh,
spring,
yes,
have we?
I haven't, but it's not
Okay,
a problem.
okay.
They just hadn't been able to book for spring yet,
Oh, okay.
so,
Okay.
but once I can, then I will take it.
Okay, all right, and we are moving forward on our staff ombudsperson position. So hopefully that will be communicated soon. That is gonna be open to full-time exempt employees, staff. If you want to serve and, if you're a good problem solver and like to lead your peers, that will be sent out soon with all the information on how to apply and the qualifications.
I can say from the last year of experience, it's not terribly busy. You do get some people with genuine issues and it can feel very nice to lend, to lend an ear. If it helps anybody decide whether they want to apply or not, you're not expected, to move the needle for them. The ombuds person is supposed to be a neutral, I say disinterested, but it's not as negative as that, but you're supposed to be disinterested in the fact that you're not making anything happen for or against them. You're listening to them, you're offering a neutral ear, you're pointing to resources that you think are relevant. So I say that to try to encourage. It's not high pressure in the sense that your involvement is make or break. If anybody is afraid of that, if that's what's keeping them from applying for the role. It's a very useful and helpful role, but it's not on you to, solve someone's problem.
All right, anything else? Good, all right. You adjourn? All those in,
Do it.
I'm sorry,
Second.
yes, okay.